The Mushroom Kingdom is a strange place. From the fact that its population consists of sentient fungal spores to the fact that a giant turtle keeps occupying its own military forces. There's a lot of weird things going on. Another weird thing is the fact that its entire global economy relies on like a dozen or so imports that are sold to like 2 plumbers. And even weirder is the fact that these power-ups / products are only useful for defeating the never-ending invasion of Bowser's troops. Are like the Toads in on this? Can we call them war profiteers? Anyway, taking these power-ups out of their shady setting, I want to know how useful these things would actually be in the real world. You know, where plumbers actually do their jobs and royals have some form of ransom insurance.
Let's go!
Lightbox. Literally just a torch, except it weighs as much as a brick. Statue leaf. Turns Mario into a raccoon, except it doesn't. Instead it turns you into a statue of a raccoon. I guess it's useful for like lawn ornaments or something like that. POW box. Earthquake in a box. Great for domestic terrorism. I mean, maybe it could be used for like demolition, but there's no way to control it. Power balloon. This image shouldn't be an officially licensed Mario screenshot. This should be left to Twitter artists. Mini mushroom. Makes you smaller. I don't remember being in a situation where I wished I was ever smaller, but you know. Super Acorn. The Super Acorn turns Mario into a flying squirrel. Nintendo, you've already made the Tanuki suit. What is your obsession with flying rodents? Super Bell. This item turns Mario into a cat, letting him shamelessly crawl on all fours. Look man, just call it a fursuit. We can all see the seams holding it together. You don't have to pretend it's a power-up, Mario. Frog suit. The frog suit gives you the ability to swim fast and hold your breath indefinitely. I hope you enjoy wading through sewage, because anyone who's dressed as a frog is just asking to be thrown into waste management. At least you'll be able to hold your breath and stay in it for longer. Propeller mushroom. This mushroom gives Mario a fancy cap that lets him shoot up into the air instantaneously. Looks cool until you realise there's a fucking helicopter on his head and the whiplash must be immense. Although it could be a great opportunity for a new sport. Reverse bungee jumping. Vanish cap. Turns Mario invisible. Don't use it, you pervert. Ice skates. Just a pair of ice skates. If you don't know how to ice skate, then too bad, because you literally can't stop in these things. Have fun being the battering ram on the ice rink. Ice flower. The ice flower gives Mario the ability to throw balls of ice while also probably giving him frostbite too. Could be great for firefighting, provided you don't melt. Penguin suit. Completing the cold trio, we have the penguin suit, which enables you to do everything that ice skates and the ice flower can do, except while letting you cosplay as Pingu. What's not to love? As well as being good for firefighting, this suit could also double up as the mascot when you do your fire safety talks in schools. The hammer. The hammer seems quite a useful power-up, giving you basically an unlimited supply of hammers, which could be a godsend on the building site. Until you realise the wiki makes it pretty clear that you can't control how much you swing these things around. I don't know, seems like a bit of a safety hazard, tossing around hammers like you're an overexcited flower girl at a wedding. Spring mushroom. This gives Mario the ability to jump a lot higher by turning him into a slinky. It doesn't exactly look like Mario's enjoying being coiled up like a snake, but it's just a prototype. We can market it better in the future. However, I can't help but feel like we've already invented this kind of thing before. We call them moon shoes. We have the advantage of being able to actually walk upstairs with them on. Double cherry. The double cherry splits you in two, providing you with a helpful clone of yourself. This could be extremely useful in many situations, like designating house chores, being in 2 places at once, having the time it takes to do things. Only problem is, how do you know which clone is actually you? And does your clone know their clone too? Considering the only way to get rid of your clone is to kill it, how do you know your clone won't do that to you? Mega Mushroom. The Mega Mushroom is more of a hindrance than a power-up as it quadruples your size to above building level. As much as we all want to be taller, Ginormica wasn't exactly what we were thinking of. Sure, this newfound power-up could be useful for transporting heavy items around, but I can't help but feel like the opposite could also be useful too. Godzilla needs days off also. Rock Mushroom. Turns Mario into the rock. Who wouldn't want that? Fire Flower. We all love the Fire Flower, it's one of the best power-ups in the whole game. But I'm struggling to find a use for it that doesn't involve arson. I mean, throwing around fire is a pretty cool skill to have, but there can't be many legal applications to it. Red Star. This power lets you fly through the air with the only caveat being that you have to continuously keep spinning. Flying is always a handy power to have, but when you're in a constant state of dizziness, I can't help but feel it might be a bit hard to navigate the airspace. It's only a matter of time before you accidentally float into Kazakhstan and get blown to smithereens. Mushroom. A lifeline for all my fellow Shore Kings out there. Hope is not lost. Bee Mushroom. Save the bees. The bee mushroom lets Mario turn into a bee and pollinate all the flowers around him. This could help hugely with farming and keeping crops alive. Although, sorry to everyone who's got hay fever out there. Superstar. The Superstar makes you temporarily invincible, making it impossible for anyone to kill you in that time. Sounds great, you might say, but I beg to differ. The effect only lasts a few seconds, meaning you've got to time it to absolute perfection, meaning that you have to have the reaction time of a cheetah to know when to use it. Maybe the military could find a use for it, but I'd rather they don't. Last thing I want to do is give them more money, let alone superpowers. Wing cap. This is like the propeller cap, except with a lot less whiplash. You're going to have to hold on to it pretty tight to stop it from flying away, but other than that, you can fly around the air. However, you don't look nearly as cool flying with this than you do with the next power-up, and that is the cape feather. This power-up turns you into Superman. pretty fucking cool, giving you the ability to fly, beat up enemies, and do a nice little twirl while you're at it. We've all dreamt of being a superhero at some point in our lives, wondering what event would take place to give us superpowers. Am I secretly an alien? Do I need to fall into some radioactive waste? Do I need to be rich? Well, the answer to that has come, and that is to eat a feather. Although, it seems like you could contract a lot more than what you bargained for, so take this advice with a pinch of salt. Tanuki suit. Ever wanted to be a raccoon with absolutely gigantic ears? Well, despite that negative, or perhaps a positive, I don't know, the Tanuki suit is a pretty good thing to have. Being able to glide is an ability that Mario games seem to love, and this suit gives you exactly that, along with giving you an extra limb to use how you like. This suit is pretty darn versatile. I can see it being developed for lovely espionage missions to other countries, or being used to deliver pizza in. And now we're on to the final power-up. The one item that is undeniably the most useful in the real world. The one thing everyone should be looking to get their hands on the moment Nintendo decides to act up and actually start their own country. And that item is the Wario cap. Turns you into Wario. What's not to love?